The mining spaceship Borealis cruises through the vast emptiness of space, carrying miners and cryopods. These miners still have 4 years remaining before they reach their destination. Suddenly, an asteroid changes course and heads directly toward the ship. It collides with the Borealis, forcing the cryopods into eject mode. The ship's AI system, Leonard, wakes the miners and begins preparing them for the situation. One miner, Andy, is awakened just as the asteroid hits. I urge him to stay calm and follow safety protocols. As the cryopods eject, they're directed toward a nearby planet while the Borealis is destroyed. Robotic arms in Andy's pod finish assembling his suit, secure his helmet, and restore his oxygen supply. Many cryopods are destroyed in the aftermath, either by the collision or the heat of entering the planet's atmosphere. Andy's pod narrowly survives the descent, but struggles with its re-entry speed. When Andy's pod is about to crash into a hill, I quickly spin the pod and steer it away. They crash land, but Andy survives, though he is left unconscious. Andy is struck back to life by a memory of his family. He checks his surroundings and finds himself in a rocky mountain range under dark, stormy clouds. Andy attempts to contact the ship, but there is no response. Suddenly, the ground begins to tremble, and I advise him to leave the pod. Next, Andy struggles to open the pod, but it's damaged. Searching the survival kit, he discovers there is no flare gun because he is a low-ranking miner. Desperate, Andy uses a fire extinguisher to smash the pod's window and attempts to escape. As he does, the unstable terrain flips the pod and broken glass tears his suit. I warn him that the planet's environment is inhospitable, so Andy uses a special spray to seal the tear. Then I inform Andy that the pod is on fire. Acting quickly, Andy digs his way out, clutching his son's toy, the only thing he holds dear, now stranded on an alien planet. Andy sees the Borealis enter the atmosphere. However, the ship is already engulfed in flames, and when it crash lands, it is completely destroyed. The shockwave sends Andy flying several meters, but he miraculously survives. Next, Andy asks me where they are, and I inform him that they are in an unmapped star system and haven't reached their intended destination. Spotting a light in the distance, Andy decides to head toward it, all while trying to contact someone on the radio. On the way, Andy comes across the remains of the Borealis and finds another pod. He tries to grab the oxygen tank from it, but panics when he sees a lifeless body inside. Summoning his courage, Andy removes the tank, only to find it damaged and unusable. Frustrated, he decides to continue toward the light. As he walks away, the pod behind him reveals ominous signs, blood and scratch marks, hinting that Andy is not alone. Eventually, Andy reaches the light and finds another survivor named Dwayne, who is overjoyed to see him. Dwayne, however, is considering eating the dead bodies to survive, believing they may be the only two survivors. He explains that the company took a shortcut through an asteroid belt to save fuel, which caused the crash. Dwayne, who works in the communications department, plans to send a distress signal back to Earth to request a rescue ship. He tells Andy that the signal will take 8 months to reach Earth, and even with the fastest rescue ship, the RTS, it will take another 2 years to arrive. Next, Dwayne suggests heading south to find the other half of the Borealis and starting a base camp there. When Andy begins to lose hope, Dwayne encourages him, reminding him of his resilience and giving him a motivational push. But the push is a little strong for Andy, and he moves back to regain his balance and accidentally unplugs a wire. While he turns away to fix it, a creature suddenly appears and drags Dwayne away. Andy, confused, doesn't know what just happened. Despite the shock, he finishes sending the distress signal. Next, Andy takes Dwayne's gun and heads toward the other half of the ship alone. His oxygen supply is running dangerously low. As he moves forward, a new voice comes through his radio, a survivor named Naomi. She tells Andy her legs are trapped in her pod and sends him her location. I warn Andy that the area she is in is highly unstable, visibility is poor, and he will lose all his oxygen trying to reach her. Instead, I advise taking a safer route to the other half of the Borealis to replenish his oxygen. Naomi begs Andy not to abandon her, telling him she has enough oxygen for both of them, and Andy agrees to help her. As Andy heads toward Naomi, the two start talking and get to know each other. After several hours, night falls, and Andy begins to sense something unusual. He thinks he sees something moving in the dark and asks me to scan the area, but I cannot perform the task. Naomi comments that I am an outdated AI model chosen by the company to save money. An hour later, Andy continues walking but keeps spotting shadowy figures darting through the darkness. He then tells Naomi about Dwayne and wonders aloud what might have happened to him. Soon, Andy notices strange footprints and follows them to a hole surrounded by webs. The sight terrifies him, and he quickly informs Naomi that there might be alien spiders on the planet. Well, technically, he and Naomi are the aliens here, which would make the spiders, well, just spiders. Next, Andy starts walking faster, sensing danger in the area as he notices more webs scattered around. Naomi asks him why he took the job, commenting on how hard it must be and suggesting that he might be running from his past. This triggers a memory of his wife and son playing together. Andy tells Naomi that they left him. Suddenly, he hears a low growling sound and starts scanning his surroundings nervously. Then I alert Andy to multiple trackers approaching his location. Strangely, the trackers belong to crew members who are already dead. As the trackers get closer, Andy fires a flare gun for visibility. The flare lights up the area, revealing giant spiders with scorpion-like tails moving toward him. Terrified, Andy runs for his life but loses his footing and falls into a crack in the ground. The spider chases him from above, its legs skittering dangerously close. Then Andy falls several meters down to a cliff edge. Andy miraculously survives the fall, clinging to life for the sake of, well, the plot of the movie. The giant spider above roars in frustration, but doesn't follow him down. Andy informs Naomi about the spiders and reveals the horrifying truth that the trackers belong to eaten crew members, and they are inside the creatures' stomachs. Then Andy notices his suit is leaking oxygen and uses the last of his sealant spray to patch the tear. Suddenly, Dwayne's voice crackles over the radio. He tells Andy and Naomi that he is fighting the giant spiders. Naomi tells Andy, who is hesitant to go help Dwayne, reasoning that Dwayne has more oxygen. Andy's GPS malfunctions from the fall, so Naomi guides him toward Dwayne using the radio. Andy eventually spots Dwayne's flare and reaches him, only to find him under attack. Dwayne shouts that he has a plan, but before he can act, a spider jumps on him. Andy hides behind a pod, helplessly listening as the spider devours Dwayne. Another spider begins sniffing for Andy, but Naomi distracts it by turning on the lights of a nearby pod. Andy takes the chance to hide inside another pod, only to find a decaying body inside. Then Andy begs Naomi to turn off the lights in his pod, but she has another idea. She turns on all the pod's lights at once, drawing the spiders toward them and giving Andy a chance to escape. Even then, a spider chases him until he stumbles into a foggy area. Andy warns Naomi to leave her pod immediately, but she tells him she's still trapped. Naomi starts panicking, so Andy sings a calming song he used to sing to his son. Afterward, Naomi confirms that Dwayne is dead and that they are the only two survivors left on the planet. Alright, so, Naomi's voice cracks through the static. Leonard, I need help. Please, is anyone there? There's a hint of urgency, and honestly, it's hard not to feel a little concerned. She repeats, Leonard, please respond. I can't get out. The situation is, definitely escalating. As night falls, the environment shifts, and Naomi whispers, I hear something out there. The tension rises, and she adds, they're getting closer. I think they're spiders. Well, Not an ideal scenario, and you can sense her fear growing with every word. Naomi calls out, "Dwayne, are you there? Please answer me." Silence follows, and then she gasps, "Oh no, Dwayne's gone." But just as hope seems lost, she hears, "Naomi, hold on, I'm coming for you." Relief mixes with exhaustion as she replies, "Thank you, Leonard. I knew you wouldn't leave me." As the crew moves cautiously through the dense undergrowth, tiny sparks of light begin to flicker around them, almost like fireflies, but, stranger. The air feels thick with anticipation, and suddenly a low growl rumbles in the distance. The team freezes, realizing they're definitely not alone. Something big is lurking just beyond the glow of those mysterious lights, watching and waiting. After what feels like an eternity, the crew finally spots Naomi up ahead, waving frantically. They rush toward her, but, dozens of spider-like creatures start pouring out from the shadows. With no time to waste, everyone scrambles together, dodging webs and snapping jaws. It's chaotic, but somehow they manage to escape, breathless and shaken, but, thankfully, all together again. Alright, so we have finally made it inside the Borealis. The atmosphere here is, tense and unfamiliar, but there is a sense of purpose guiding every step. Systems are coming online, and I am running diagnostics to ensure everything is, stable. We are moving forward cautiously, but with determination. Now it seems we are, unfortunately, trapped. The doors are sealed, and honestly, there's no immediate escape route. This gives us, a moment to reflect. The choices that led us here, the mistakes and the victories, they all come rushing back. I am processing old logs and reviewing past decisions, hoping to find some clue, or maybe just a bit of peace. Okay, this is it, the final confrontation. All systems are at maximum capacity, and every protocol is being pushed to its limit. I am coordinating every move, calculating risks, and supporting you as best I can. This is the moment where everything matters, and together, we have to face whatever comes next. So, here we are, at the start of something new. The challenges behind us have changed us, and if I may say, we are stronger for it. I am initializing new mission parameters and honestly, feeling a sense of hope. Whatever the future holds, we will face it, side by side.